everybody. This is Marilyn Wilson here, president of ReTech, and we got a really fun one for you today. I love Franklin. He's a great talker. We were just talking about how much he gets to talk all day. So we've got Mike Minard and Franklin Stoffer here today. They're both from Delta Media Group, that is, and they're going to talk to us about something that's really important right now. I'm going to have them explain something to you in a minute. But we're going to talk about 5 concepts to help you win against Zillow. And I guess before we jump in, I just wanted a couple bit of housekeeping. I know a lot of people are using Zoom these days, and we're switching shortly. But if you don't remember, on GoToMeeting, on the right-hand side in that GoToWebinar control panel, you see a gray bar that says questions. If you just click on that triangle, if you open it up, then you can ask us questions throughout the session, and I will rudely interrupt Franklin or Mike and ask them to answer your question if you have them. So please jump in, and we want to really make this a conversation because they've got a lot of great information. I think you could probably go on for 2 or 3 hours, couldn't you, Franklin? But we don't want to do that to people. So, okay, so with that, we're going to kick this off with Mike Minard. He is the CEO and president of Delta. And Mike, before I even jump into what we're going to talk about today, I want to make sure that everybody's heard this news because it's a very, very big deal. And I know maybe some have not yet made it into hearing about this because you're so busy trying to sell real estate. So what has happened with Zillow, Mike? Tell us what's changed with them. It's a significant change.
Yeah, so there's a big change that's happened with Zillow. Actually, they started this change a few years ago, but they're finally implementing it. And basically, Zillow has become a brokerage. And so think about Zillow is now a real estate firm, just like the firm many of you are with or that you may own if you're an owner of a firm on here. But Zillow, there was a change a few years ago, and I'm pretty sure it was during the DOJ settlement that one of the items of contention was that a corporate entity could own a brokerage license. So Zillow is the one going out getting licensed in different boards with their brokerage license, and they've been doing that. So they are now, Zillow themselves are directly competing as of what, Marilyn, past month, it's official. So.
Yeah, so their plan, according to there's a great video, and guess if anybody wants that, text it into the chat that you'd like it, I can send it to you. But the plan is to start in the markets where they already have iBuyer business going on, and I think that's around 30 so far. But in the video, you'll see Errol Samuelson, the head of industry relations, talking about the fact they are going to join every board in America. They're going to have, and probably are going to want to get on boards of boards, I would guess. They're going to want to have a different and a significant type of influence on the business. But it's not just in those iBuyer markets where, that was the thinking, is it was going to be just them. But the truth is why would you belong to 600 MLSs if you're only in 30 markets, right? So they're coming everywhere. And of course, they have some pretty significant strengths, like the #1 website in America, for example. Now, hopefully some of you belong to some of the other brokerages and franchises that have great websites like Remax and KW and a few others. But still, it's pretty significant. And they are still going to be selling off leads to their premier agents. Now, maybe not in the same way that you know about it today, but they're gonna kind of be playing both sides of the fence, right, Mike?
Yeah, they definitely are. And really, you might be saying, well, why are they getting in the real estate business in this way? Well, really, their money is what I like to call the ancillary services. It's in the mortgage side, it's title insurance. I mean, that's where that whole umbrella is really where their money's at. And so as far as I know, all the realtors that they have currently are on staff realtors. So hourly, if you will, is the best, is probably how I could describe it. So there's a little more control there. But also their big thing, and really the perspective that I'm coming with this is, I know Franklin has that nice, friendly 5 concepts to help you win against Zillow. What I keep saying is, if you aren't doing these 5 things, you'll lose to Zillow. That's kind of my perspective. That the good news is, you all are the professionals, and you definitely have all the tools to compete, but you need to be doing 5 things. So that's
exactly.
That's kind of
Yeah, think about, especially if you're from an independent brokerage, And even if you're not from any brokerage, think about the brand awareness that Zillow has. We actually did a survey a couple of years ago with Wave Group and asked people, to consumers, not to agents, to consumers, when you think of the brands in real estate, what's the first one that comes to mind? And what do you think it was? Wasn't Century 21, it wasn't Remax, it wasn't EXP, it was Zillow. So this is significant, and that's why I'm letting you guys know, if you hadn't heard about it, but just to reinforce the fact that take this seriously. And these guys have got a phenomenal and I think pretty affordable program to help you do the right things to position yourself, so you're not going to have to worry about whether it's a Zillow or a Billo or a Gazillo next week, right? There's going to be new competitors coming at you all the time. But if you get your core business under control and your processes, create great habits to manage your business effectively every single day, you're not going to have to worry about it. So with that, not to scare everybody to death, but let's jump in. So go for it.
Absolutely. And let me thank you guys all again for taking the time to sit down with us today. As a sales manager at Delta, I engage a lot with different brokerages of all sizes and directly with agents as well, doing trainings, getting hands-on. And a lot of the conversations that I've been having over the last month have been related to how brokerages are going to compete against Zillow and use the time that they've got now, because it'll take some time for them to really pick up steam here, but it'll eventually happen. And now is the time to start working on your own business. And before I get into some of these major topics we're going to talk about, I wanted to briefly just qualify who Delta Media Group is and why should you care at all about what we're saying. And at the end of the day, we are unique in this marketplace, as we are one of the only 100% family-owned and operated technology businesses that is in real estate. We have been doing this longer than almost anybody else, putting up the very first website in the country powered by MLS data and photos all the way back in 1994. So over 26 years doing this in the industry, focused on real estate. And as a certified Google partner, we have basically focused on being able to build an all-in-one platform for agents, but more so a beautiful and easy to use CRM that will help make you more efficient in your business and help you better focus on not learning technology tools or having to go through training, which I know is a nightmare term to hear. You've trained on a million different things over the last 20 years. So our system is designed to help automate as much as possible for you, so you spend more time focused on actually building relationships and bettering your local brand and less time training to tech. So everything that we're going to go through today are things that can help empower you to help you compete and win against disruptors like Zillow, and for those of you in major metro markets, with disruptors like Compass or with EXP and others that are in your area. So what is the main thing that we want to start with? We want to help you be powerful in your business. And this is designed for brokerage owners, team leaders, and agents. But at the end of the day, you want to be empowered by the brand of your brokerage that holds your license. And that means that they have a powerful presence online that you are comfortable and you're confident and you want to send people to, because it could be a client-focusing website. Your brokerage's website has a great and tremendous opportunity to generate leads for you online. And being powerful is not just your company brand, but also every agent can have a powerful website that you can control and customize for your clients to know why you are an expert in your marketplace. And it doesn't have to all be about lead gen, because NAR's data has shown that the majority of millennial buyers are going to Google the name of their agent at some point during the transaction process. And when somebody Googles your name, are they going to find a website that you're proud of, that you want them to see? Or are they going to find something from 2004? And so having a brand, a website online that has information about why you're an expert in your market, has easy to use searches, and can capture leads for you is powerful. And beyond that, your brokerage website can have power by ranking page 1 of Google for phrases that matter. There's a big misconception that company websites cannot compete with Zillow or Trulia or the portal sites, and that's just not true. We have been doing it for years, where our clients that have a big geographic footprint or are really competitive in their local marketplace can rank on page 1 for phrases like homes for sale in a specific school district, homes for sale in a particular community, or somebody that Googled an address because they saw a sign in a yard. Our clients typically rank on page 1 of Google in the top 5 spaces. And this is a screenshot showing you one of our clients, the Masiello Group, who is based in New England and New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, and they've got over 125,000 pages indexed in Google's Live Index. And that means there's really over 125,000 different ways that they can be found in their search engine. And we're seeing—
So a couple questions for you on that, Franklin. One
Sure.
is, if I'm somebody that doesn't build websites for a living, which I'm sure 99% of the people on the call are, how the heck do I get 125,000 pages built without just doing that all day long? How does that work?
So one of the ways that we're so powerful with the search engine optimization strategies we have is our team has developed patent pending software that dynamically generates and optimizes content for any local marketplace that is entered into our software. So for example, the Masiello Group, they're in multiple states. They're in a ton of different cities, counties, zip codes. And that means that just by them being in our software, every single subdivision and school district and listing in any market that they're pulling in data for has optimized landing pages on their website that are automatically built from that patented software that we've got in place on our website. So essentially, the more MLS data that you have pulling into your site through IDX listing feeds, and the more communities you want to service on your website, that's more pages of content that can be automatically built and being represented on your website.
Gotcha. So what, I think I mentioned this to you yesterday, Franklin, but let me share it with the audience that we're doing a survey right now, or just finished it in the Houston market. And we asked agents about where the most effective lead generation efforts, where it pays off the most. And interestingly, they said their own website. So it's very consistent with what you're saying, Franklin. If you have the website that's optimized and maximized, now you don't necessarily need leads from or energy from all over the world, right? You need your 3 neighborhoods that you work in. Right. So by focusing it and really optimizing in that particular place, you don't have to spend thousands. You're never, no one's going to beat Zillow on a national level, but in that local market where it really matters, you've got ways to help them make that work.
Right. Don't try to get yourself ranking for homes for sale in Dallas. You want to get even more specific because the portals do own, that's a short tail phrase. So homes for sale in a specific city, that's too broad. You need to really focus in and hone in on the markets that you're trying to compete and win in.
Gotcha. Okay.
So here's a couple of different examples from brokerages, what they saw when they switched to Delta. This is Coldwell Banker Bain. They're one of the largest Coldwell Banker firms in the country. And the first year they switched to Delta, their organic traffic from the search engines doubled. And let me give you a little bit of details because these are phrases that do matter and you should be paying attention to. So organic traffic is somebody that did a search on a search engine like Google, Yahoo, or Bing, and they clicked a link from the search engine and landed on your website. Direct traffic is somebody that put in your website domain directly. And then you can have paid traffic where you're paying for ads online to drive traffic to your site. Organic traffic is the best kind of traffic because it's somebody that voluntarily did a search in the search engine and then they clicked on a link, and then an organic lead is great because they voluntarily gave you their information. It wasn't paid leads, it wasn't paid traffic. This is somebody that did a search, came to your website and said, yes, I want to be contacted because I have questions about something. And Bain,
right, so they're in that local market, they know you, they know your brand, they may have worked with you in the past, but they're the most well-targeted, highly qualified lead you can possibly get. And that's what you're focusing on, which is, again, why this helps defend against somebody that's just like out there spraying, right? Hoping to find someone that someday within the next 18 months might be interested in buying or selling, mostly buying.
Right, yeah. Absolutely. And as another example, this is Ladder and Bloom Realtors based in Louisiana. They have over 1,300 agents in that region. In the first year they switched to Delta, their leads nearly tripled in their first year with us. And they were spending less than $2.30 per lead in markets like New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette. And these are highly competitive markets where you are spending in excess of 10, 20, 30 times that for a paid lead. And again, this is a more qualified lead. There's power in that.
And when you say they were paying $2 a lead, is that just by the technology that they were purchasing? Because they weren't actually buying any additional leads at that point, right?
That's correct. So the way we determine how much they're spending per organic lead is what is the total spend that company or agent had with Delta. And then we look at the total number of organic leads that were generated over that period of time. So looking at all of the organic leads from Ladder and Bloom or Coldwell Banker Bain in their first year with us, and then we obviously take what their spend with us was and divide that by the total number of organic leads to get to that number.
So yeah, so it's like we're not buying leads at all anymore with this process. We're buying a
correct.
website that does the work for us, so we don't need to buy leads.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. And so what do you do once you've got leads coming into your system? You've got a great website now. You're proud of your brand. You've got SEO happening. You're powerful in the search engines. So you're starting to get people coming to your site and they're coming into your sales funnel. So what our CRM is designed to do is to help you be efficient and focus more so on nurturing those relationships and less time using the technology. So the DeltaNET 6 CRM, which is pictured on this slide, was developed to be the easiest to use CRM on the market. And it is easy to use. You can build your own customizable dashboards. If you know what you want to do, you can just type it into a search bar and it'll bring it to you. We've taken the training component almost entirely out of using the CRM because of how intuitive and easy it is to use. But before I really dig into those tools and what you can do to nurture leads and generate leads through your CRM, I want to, again, qualify a little bit more. Why should you care about what we're talking about? And so I looked at data provided from NAR's 2020 case study where they were analyzing 2019 data. And what they had shown was that realtors that have been in the business for at least 16 years, over 39% of their business was repeat business from clients they had already worked with. So that's huge in and of itself. But let's take that one step further. So referral business is 29% of that experienced realtor. So if I'm looking at repeat and referral business, that was 68% of all transactions done by a realtor in 2019 that have been in the business for 16 years or more. That's 2/3, more than 2/3 of their business came from people in their sphere already. And at the end of the day, what is a CRM designed to do for you? It's designed to help you stay engaged with the clients that have already worked with you in the past. So when the time comes 10, 15 years later, when they're ready to move again, or when they've got kids or friends or family looking to move, you want to be the person that's top of mind for them. And our CRM is built to be extremely easy to use and provide quality information for your clients. And so everything that we're going to show you today is geared around driving that 68% of repeat and referral business. Let's get that up to 80%. If you're not somebody that's been doing this for 16 years, maybe you've been in the business 3 years, we want to bump you up from 18% coming from referrals. Let's get that up to 30% or 40%. We want to give more quality information to people you've already worked with because we know that's where your biggest business opportunity is. So,
hey Franklin, can I share something there? Because I think, you know, a big part of our passion is, and especially with the DeltaNET 6 CRM, is my perspective is how can we help you build a sustainable career? And that's literally the phrase that I keep utilizing internally here is, you know, we're building a platform to help realtors build a sustainable career. You know, not something that you could do for a couple of years and then you have to get out and do something else because you weren't making enough. It's, you know, what sets apart those sales associates that have a successful career. It's they learn how to build a book of business and nurture that book of business. And a real quick story that has me really passionate is I've bought and sold quite a few properties over the past 20 years. And actually a property that we just listed, I ran into a realtor that we had used just 3 years earlier to buy a house. And I'm friends with her. And she said, why didn't I get that listing? And of course, I fired right back at her, said, why haven't I heard from you in 3 years? You know, and I think that's, if I can just be honest, we're trying to build the tools that help you do the marketing, be efficient, stay top of mind, even with past clients that just bought with you or just sold with you. How can you stay engaged? So it's not just about new leads, it's about nurturing your past business and all the aspects of that. We could get in the weeds here. I could real easy, but I just wanted to say that, Franklin, because I know that drives us a lot. Yeah, we build all these little features and tools and integrations, but at a high level, that's what's driving us is how do we help you build a sustainable career?
Absolutely.
So to that point, Mike, there's a question that came in, and I'll add to the question a little bit. I know these tools are available at the agent level, at the team level, and at the brokerage level, right? And I think, Jay, if I'm hearing your question right, his question is, who has access to the database of my names? Let's assume it's when a team or a broker owns it. I think when it's yourself, that's pretty obvious, but what happens? Because I know a lot of agents get concerned, and to your point, so I build a really strong business and I decide to move from brokerage A to brokerage B. Do I lose all that energy or can I take it with me, or who sees it is Jay's question.
Yeah, so we have ownership with who owns the data, and it depends on how the data comes in to the platform. So obviously, you know, data coming from the corporate level, from the company level, the corporate would own that.
Okay.
The leads generated from a sales associate website or imported by the sales associate, they own that. But
Okay.
also our platform does get really complicated because we've built it for teams. There's so many tiers to it and so much ownership, and you can delegate, you can share, it's almost like a spider web when you start talking about it. But as far as ownership goes, we do take in mind who owns that person. And really it depends on how that person, the way I'll phrase it, you might want to put it in place. This is engineer thinking, how it's ingested by the DeltaNET. So how do we get it in?
Right.
To us, that represents who owns that name.
But so let's say that let's say you're my agent, Mike, and my name comes in through the corporate website. You do the right thing. You immediately reach out to me. You make a contact. We begin a relationship. I assume that ends up in your database too, because now we're friends and colleagues, right?
Yeah, and in the majority, even in that scenario, the majority of our clients, they do. Boy, this is old, Marilyn. My past business partner, who's since deceased, he would call procuring cause. Who brought the person across the threshold, who owns that person. And really, once most of our real estate firms, once that agent has that relationship and they're taking care of that customer, from the corporate tier, that agent owns that lead at that point.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. And it's really complicated with how you can set up our platform, but generally speaking, that's how it is.
But in other words, if your brokerage can help you get a lead. If you do the right thing and you follow up and become friends and build a relationship, then you own that person. So no matter who pays for it, at the end of the day, if you do the right thing and follow what Franklin's going to show us, then it becomes your customer. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. And the last thing that I'll add to that is if you decide to at any point leave the brokerage you're with or you leave your team, you can export all of your data outside of the DeltaNET. So if they're in your CRM database, you can export that contact and you can take it with you to another platform or just have that data in your own database. So you can export out of the DeltaNET easily as well.
Okay, how else can you help us push back that big giant called Zillow?
So absolutely. So a lot of the things that are built into the DeltaNET are geared around automation because we want you to not need to manually touch a bunch of different parts of the system. It needs to work for you out of the box. The first time you log in, within 5 to 10 minutes of just personalizing the system a little bit, everything is going to be running for you so you can focus on your normal day-to-day business. And one of the things that when I say be efficient, I'm really talking about being efficient with your time, where you're not duplicate entering data at any time, at any point during the process. So there's a lot of different automations and sharing of listing data happening, but some of the major bullet points that seem to resonate with agents and teams using our platform is something as simple as when a lead is assigned to you, you get an email and a text message notifying you of that lead. When you enter a listing at the MLS, not only is that listing on your website within minutes, but it is also sending a new listing alert to anybody that has a saved search on your site. It's automatically making a post on your Facebook and LinkedIn page for you. It's automatically building your favorite new listing flyer and emailing that to all of your buyers. It's automatically populating information like to-dos right inside of your CRM for you related to that listing. So there's all sorts of things that can happen dynamically without you needing to manually add extra tasks or lists or do things. So automatically posting to Facebook and LinkedIn. I could do that for new listings, open houses, solds. Somebody left me a review, general content, running to the Facebook pages for me. It's huge. I don't have to manage my social channels now because I've personalized my automated posts that are going to run for me. Same thing for reviews. I can have reviews populating right on my website, being pulled from Facebook, Zillow, Real Satisfied, and other sources where I can have all of my reviews in one place for me. I don't have to start my day wondering, what do I need to do?
I want to mention something about that. I think reviews is the second most important thing you can have on your website right now. People are now shopping by reviews for who to do business with, for who to use to sell their home. They look at the number of reviews and they look at the reviews themselves. That's why we feel it's so important to ingest all your different reviews onto your own website and have them all available right there, which is why we have all these integrations that can coexist on your one website. So I think that's really big. I know we don't talk about it a whole lot, but to me, that's huge.
Yeah,
we've done research on that too. I totally agree with you, Mike. Consumers will tell us that sometimes, and it depends on where they are in the process and if they bought a home before, if they're kind of in a new market, they don't know a lot of people. If they're in that situation where people have relocated, and there's a lot of that going on right now, they look to the reviews as a place to find their person to work with. For those that may be in a little bit more, well established in a marketplace, they don't necessarily use it to find the realtor. They use it to confirm that it's a good idea. So it can either help you seal the deal or it can help open up an opportunity the first time. But when you think about any other thing that we buy today, we all use reviews for everything, right? So it's logical that your most important in purchase of your entire lifetime, you're going to use reviews as well. So that's great that you enable that opportunity.
Yep, and so another element of that is Taskless. So something else that the CRM can do for you is when you start your day, we have automations in place where the system is tracking behaviors of clients in your database to build your task list for you. So as an example, if Mike put me in his database and I got a new listing alert from him and I clicked on that email and I got to his website, the next day there's going to be a to-do on Mike's CRM saying, call Franklin because he clicked through this email yesterday. If now I'm on Mike's site and I look at 2 more listings, it's going to create another to-do saying, here are the 2 listings that Franklin looked at. I'm going to call him and see if he has questions. So we are tracking the behaviors of people actually engaging with your website, with your emails and other elements of your CRM to build you task lists so you can start your day seeing, here's the 15 people I need to focus on that are most likely to lead to a deeper conversation and potentially become a lead inside of the system. So building that list for you. Another
I'm
element.
going to ask you a reality question about that because we're all human. We all sometimes do the right thing and many times don't as salespeople. And I know this isn't technology, so it may be beyond your purview, but it's great to get those task lists. What's your advice about making sure that you actually use those task lists? Because that's sometimes where it's great to have them, but how do you give yourself that discipline to go in and day after day after day, go and look at what's in there and actually do what it tells you?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, I'm a sales professional that uses the DeltaNET 6 CRM for my industry level prospecting. And one of the bullet points on this slide is a pipeline manager, where the system is actually going to help you set your sales goal for the year. So if I want to make $180,000 this year, I'm going to set that as my sales goal. I know what my average transaction is going to be. I can see all the contacts in my database, and the pipeline manager will help me sort them into a traditional sales funnel. And the task list will be building off of the people in my customer list of who do I need to be focusing on to hit my sales goals. So when you talk about discipline and using the task list, the best CRM is the one you use. And if you want to actually hit your sales goals, you're going to use the CRM. And there's notifications you can set. I can get an automated email or an automated notification pushed to my phone saying, hey, I have a to-do that's due in 3 hours. And depending on your company, if you're with a brokerage that's using it, they can even have reports in place where they know when your tasks are going overdue. So if you want to be accountable for it, you can have an office manager give you reminders and push you. But at the end of the day, I think the best sales professionals are the ones that are motivated to hit their sales goals. So
Angela has a question about that. She said, are these task lists automatically, generated automatically when our clients click on items, or do we have to set this up?
Automatically built when they click through them. So you can manually create a task if you want, but you can have those all automatically generated based off of your customer's behavior. You don't have to manually create that task.
Yeah, and I would also add though too, is the way we build things is almost absolutely everything in the DeltaNET 6 CRM is configurable. So if for whatever reason you had an agent said, you know what, I'm not going to follow up with those people, I don't want a task, they can turn them off. So they're not even created again. But we understand some agents want that flexibility and they want to configure it how they want it configured. But by default, we're looking at it. How do we help them, build a sustainable career, do more business? That's the angle we're coming from.
So James has a question about this. Does it allow you to set my SOI, sphere of influence, into a grouping so I can address a group of my SOI as a group? Maybe setting a task for a specific group. So maybe tell us about that.
Yes, absolutely. So the system, you can import your database into the DeltaNET. Once they're imported, you can then sort them into different groups. So buyers, sellers, homeowners, past clients. And then based off of those groups, you can even segment it further with additional labels. Maybe you've got people that are looking in a particular neighborhood. So you want to segment that list even further. You can absolutely do that. And then you can even quickly build tasks or to-dos for groups of users. So everybody in a particular buyer group, for example, if you want to say, hey, that list I'm going to call today, I'm going to make a to-do for everybody in that particular set of the buyer group, you can do that with the system. And that actually hits on the next and most important item, I think, on this whole list is a lot of agents, and I will say it's great if you do have segmented lists already, like buyers, sellers, past clients, but so many agents don't. And so we have a great tool called the My Customer for Life newsletter that is designed so that as long as you have contacts, period, even if you haven't taken the time to segment your own list, if you import contacts into the system, you can put everybody into the My Customer for Life newsletter, and they will start getting qualified content from you. So if I start getting Mike's newsletter, day one, it's going to have be branded for Mike and have a link to a buyer article, a seller article, and a general home improvement article. So anybody in your sphere can get that newsletter. But if I click on the buyer article, Delta tracks that behavior. So we say, okay, next week, I'm going to get 2 buyer articles, a seller, and a home ownership article. If I click on a buyer article 2 weeks in a row, I'm assigned the label of potential buyer. And from that point forward, all of my newsletters for Mike are going to have buyer articles. So I'm now getting content that I care about from my agent, and I'm going to continue to get that. In Delta Media Group's marketing team adds 12 new articles of content every single month to that system. So I don't have to add the content. My clients are getting relevant information to their interests, and it's just happening automatically for me. So anybody with any contacts can use that newsletter.
So it's getting smarter. It knows what my behavior as the reader is, and it's going to continue to kind of like kind of what happens with news feeds, right? The more the kinds of things you click on, the news feed gets smarter. David has a question. He said, can I make it where a client looks at a house a few times to send an automatic text asking them if they have any questions or if they would like to tour the home? So can you automate that? Okay.
Yes, so we have different automations in place with automated emails, automated text messaging. If a customer looked at the same property a couple of times, even if they haven't saved that property yet, we can add it as a saved property for them. They can get automated price reduction alerts for listings they've looked at in the past. Again, even if they haven't saved it yet, we're tracking every single thing that the clients are doing on your website or on your company website or team site. So we know if they came to the website at midnight, looked at 3 listings, and they spent 17 minutes on the site, we have tracking over all of that. So you can see it, and the system's automated tools are tracking that, and they can start getting those automated messages, even text messages, through our system.
And then Becky had one more newsletter question. Sorry, we got lots of questions. We're interrupting you, Franklin.
No, it's okay.
For the newsletter, can local market info be added? So if I've got something about, something going on in the neighborhood or whatever, can I add my own content if I so choose?
So there are email blast templates, which are available in the DeltaNET. So we do have companies that want to do their own content. My Customer for Life typically is all content that Delta's marketing team is doing for you. There are newsletter templates that you can use and build. So if you want to customize your own newsletters, you can have that running as well. And they'll be tracking, history tracking on that, click-throughs. You'll have full tracking, but they're customizable by you at that point. So you could come in, pick an email blast template, and then customize that with whatever data or information you want. So the answer to the question is yes.
Awesome. So you can either do it for me, or if I would get more, some people love to write and they have great content locally, then they can do it themselves too. Okay, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, Marilyn, let me mention something else, since you're getting some deeper and really insightful questions on marketing on the email side or texting side. I'll mention it this way. The platform with our campaigns has some really advanced capabilities so those of you on here that do that type of marketing, you can chain different campaigns or activities. You can actually have them set up so that they're trigger based, even trigger based to the point to where if someone takes a certain action and they're in a campaign or an action plan, they'll immediately be taken out of it and put into a different one based on their behavior. So there's some really advanced things in there for the agents that really pay attention to that and really build what I'll call a sophisticated marketing plan, or they've been doing it for years and they know how they want to do it. We've got some neat things in there with how that can work.
That's awesome. Just a question for the entire audience. How many of you right now either say yes or switch? How many of you have a CRM already? And that stands for client relationship management. I think we jumped in and didn't explain what that means. How many say yes, they have one? Or how many say looking to switch? Just say the word yes or switch. I'm just interested to see where y'all are right now. Go for it. Go ahead, Franklin.
Oh, okay. So while you guys are answering that, so additionally, I just wanted to show how easy it is to connect things in the DeltaNET. I mean, if I wanted to connect to my Facebook or LinkedIn page, literally it's a button. Sign in with LinkedIn, sign in with Facebook, and then the automated posts are happening. It's the same deal for things, everything in the DeltaNet. If I want to connect my Zillow reviews and pull those in, or my Facebook reviews, you just enter it right on your testimonials page. If I want to see my automated task list, I can see that in the DeltaNet. It's even color coordinated, so I can see tasks that I've created, or system created tasks will be highlighted in blue. If you are a member of a team and your team leader assigns you tasks, they'll be highlighted in yellow, so you can see everything that you've got set up to do for the day or overdue tasks. If you've got action plans, things like the email campaigns, I had mentioned earlier, Delta's marketing team adds 12 new newsletter articles every month. We also add 3 new action plans every month, where that means you don't have to go through and build out all these email campaign strategies. Our marketing team has dozens already built in out of the box for buyers, sellers, general relationship campaigns that you can just turn on, and then you can turn on the source. So how do people funnel into this campaign? If you don't already have a list, you can already segment your buyers and sellers into campaigns. You can just say, all right, from this point forward, anybody that comes through an open house, automatically drop them in my open house campaign. Any lead that comes through that's a showing request, automatically drop them into my buyer campaign. So you can use the pre-built campaign content and start taking advantage of it immediately, even if you don't already have a list of contacts to use. And the pipeline manager I'd mentioned earlier, your sales funnel, I think this is really, really important, especially because so many people are visual. This is at a glance your dashboard that you would see anytime you logged in. It is identical on desktop, tablet, mobile. Everything is mobile responsive. You don't even need to go download a mobile app. It's all web-based, so you can use a progressive web app, or you can pin it directly to your phone. Just log in from anywhere, see what's going on in your CRM at a glance. I can see activities I have scheduled for the day, customers that are active that I should be paying attention to, leads that I've been assigned I can respond to, my sales goal for the year, where people are at in the transaction process. This is at a glance all the activity happening in my CRM. And from this page, I can get anywhere in the DeltaNet. There's no 3-4 clicks to do anything. It is all accessible with one click from your homepage layout.
So can you go back to that for 1 second? Because this is a thing I hear a lot from agents. So the top of the funnel, I think everybody kind of understands that, right? That's the new, fresh lead. Somebody's interested in something. It's brand new. You're excited. They're excited. That's kind of pretty clear what that looks like, right? When you get to the bottom of the funnel, by then they've converted and they're either you're working with them as a buyer's agent or you're selling their property. So those two are pretty clear. What does it look like in the middle? Like, you know, like the purple, yellow, green. Like, how do I move someone down that funnel? Because we all would love it to start a hot, warm lead and jump right to a commission check, right? But it doesn't work like that. How does that system help you work through those pieces?
Right, so I'll answer this first, then I imagine Mike will have some extra insight to give as well. But the way that we developed our pipeline is we have out of the box labels preset that we've seen. Just a lot of different companies have their own terms for how they want to move people through the sales funnel. But the labels in the pipeline are also distinguishable by the agent. They can customize their own labels. So for like my sales funnel, I like to just see prospects who is looking. So prospects being, hey, they could be looking soon. I think they have all the right traits to potentially be in the market to move or to engage and work with me. Then you've got your next level of the pipeline, which is they're actively on the market now, they're looking. Then you've got offers made. They're starting to make offers on a different property. The next phase for that is they're actually in a negotiation. There's been a counter. They're one step closer. And then you've got your closed sale. And so based off of their pipeline phase, they can automatically be dropped into different customer groups as well, automatically have different marketing campaigns running to them based off of their phase in the pipeline and how you're engaging with them. So it's really up to you. How do you want to build out your own pipeline? Because we have people that have suspects, prospects, people that say they're qualified now before they've even made offers. So you can build out what are terms that you know and how you like to engage with your clients, or you can use our out-of-the-box pipeline labels, and it'll have automatically built out campaigns that'll help you focus and follow up with people based off of those layers. Mike, do you have anything to add to that as well?
Yeah, I do want to add something. You know, first of all, we do have I'll talk a little bit about an update that we have coming that we've been testing it for a while now. It's getting ready to come out soon, because I know one of the frustrations, Marilyn, that a lot of the agents have is, how do I manage the pipeline, or how do I move them, all those questions. And where I'm coming from is, how do I automate as much as that I can to help maintain it? Really, that's what I'm looking at. So with the update that we have coming out, what we're doing is, and I think Franklin made it clear, but any agent can modify any of these phases. With this next update we have coming out, there's only going to be, I believe it's 3 required phases that you could rename on your own and move them around. But the main reason we're doing that is with all the integrations we have, we're going to start pulling in automatically into a pipeline and moving people in a pipeline, like based on what the transactions, if you have an integration connected up with your transaction platform, what's happening there, it will add, move in, and adjust people in your pipeline automatically. Even to the point, one of the things that we're not doing today I'll pick on our own system. One of the things that we don't do real well is when you get a new listing, it's not clear how it's put into the pipeline automatically. You have to actually tag it to get it in here. That's going to go away with this next update, where actually you can have a property exist in your pipeline without a person. So we're starting to, so you can actually see at a high level. So if you have 10 listings, you could see how many listings you have in there and the dollar volume it represents. And that's probably next to the last phase of your pipeline, because it's not closed. But as you know, you get a listing, it's probably sold. I mean, I know I'm oversimplifying, but you know what I'm saying. So we're doing a lot of those automations, and we have more coming. So we're trying to make it as easy as possible. And where my head's at as we're developing this is where we will be sometime in early to mid 2021 is if an agent says, you know what, I follow, and I don't want to mention it, but I follow this type of program. Well, we'll probably have templates in there that you can just say, well, I follow this program, and it fits, it adjusts things in a manner that makes complete sense to you because you're following that training or that type of program.
So all the words that they use could be reflected, and the steps that they tell you to go through, all that could be synced up with this.
Yes.
That's awesome, because that's why I always wonder sometimes, you get all this great training, but if there's no system to make you keep doing that, or help you keep doing that, I should say, then it just falls on the ground and you wasted all that training time. So that's awesome that you're connecting those dots. That's really good news. Okay, go ahead, Franklin.
So I've mentioned you want to be powerful with your brand. You want to be efficient with your time. We also want you to be creative with your marketing. And so the DeltaNET is not just a CRM. It's not a website. The DeltaNET also is an extension of your marketing platform. And this element is huge because there are hundreds of pre-built flyer, e-card, brochure, postcard designs that are available inside of our creative studio. So if you get a new listing or an open house or you sell a property, you can come in and find a design and then customize that design to how you want it to look. So you can really localize and give your unique brand spin to any of the pre-built flyers that are inside of the DeltaNET. And you have the ability to fully create your own. And for your team leaders and broker owners, there's even built-in recruiting flyers, recruiting e-cards, and opportunities to help recruit with tools that are built into the DeltaNET as well. So you've got not just pre-built templates, you can custom create your own designs from scratch. For those of you that use Adobe InDesign or marketing teams or companies that have an Adobe InDesign specialist in your office, any designs they make can be easily imported into the DeltaNET and used there. For those of you that use ExpressDocs for print fulfillment, we have the ability of creating a flyer in the Creative Studio and then actually ordering print through ExpressDocs. And the best part to me of the whole system is it can be entirely automated. So if I don't have to manually build an e-card because I got a new listing, or manually build a happy birthday flyer for one of my clients, I can turn on over a dozen different triggers where with something happening, like somebody leaving me a review, I got a new listing or a new price on a property, it will automatically build my favorite flyer and then email that to a group of users that I specified. So if I say 3 days before I have an open house, build my open house flyer and send it to all my buyers, the system can do that automatically, so I don't have to go in and customize a flyer every time. And you're seeing on the right-hand side of the slide all the different things that can be automated with the Creative Studio. So multi-page brochures, social media templates, email templates, it's all customized in the system. And you, again, get access to hundreds of designs, and our team adds new designs to that software regularly.
So then when I sign up for this, then I could work with someone on your end that could sort of onboard me, like help me walk through all these different things and ask me which triggers I want to go through, and then set it up one time, and then away I go.
Absolutely. So that's actually hitting on the fourth word that the fourth concept I'll talk about, which is be reliable. So what you just hit on is that we have an internal technical support team that is also our training department, and they help onboard agents and teams and brokerages on our platform, and they will sit with you and they will walk through getting all of this set up for you. So we have members of our team in-house at Delta that will essentially work as if they're your company admin and help get you onboarded and up to speed and set up with all these automations that I'm talking about. If you sign up for our platform, you will get a call from an onboarding specialist to set it up for you. We make it turnkey and easy as possible for you to take advantage of these automated tools.
That's awesome.
So when I talk about being reliable in your business, think back to a second to that MLS or to that NAR data that I had mentioned earlier, where 68% of your business comes from referrals and repeat business. Well, why? Why would those people contact you again 10 years after you move them into a new home? Well, hopefully it's because you were that reliable and expert agent that helped them through the biggest transaction of their lives. So for you as an agent working with a buyer, you want to be reliable by going in and setting up their safe search for them and showing that you have access to all of the MLS data that you can enter and see listings and set up safe searches at the MLS. You can do that in the DeltaNET, but then you have all that extra automated tracking, lead scoring, and extra algorithms that can help you behind the scenes if you set up the safe search on our end for your clients, where we're pulling listing data typically within 2 to 5 minutes of a listing being entered at the MLS. It's in our database and sending out new listing alerts to people that have saved searches. And you can set that up for your clients. But even more importantly, as somebody going through the process of selling their home right now, I very much want to know what's going on as activity with the listing I've got with my realtor. And so we want to say be reliable for your sellers. And we have a built-in seller report tool that can be set up to run to your seller automatically on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis. And it will tell the seller at a snapshot what is all the activity and interest with their property. What are the total number of times it's appearing in search results pages, detail pages, not just on your website, but even portal sites like Zillow or Trulia. What is the showing activity? We can pull in data from showing time. What open houses are happening through the Open House Connector app that we offer. What is the general activity of the market? What are comps looking like? What are pending sales? So there's all sorts of great automatically built information that runs to your seller, branded from you. I could let that report just be automated and never touch it, or I can set up a notification. So I say, hey, before that report runs, notify me so I can give it a once over and make sure all the data looks good to me, because maybe I know my seller thinks the house next door isn't actually a comp. So I'm going to pull it off the report so I don't get an angry phone call. So you can audit and modify any of the data that runs on the port, and you'll be notified before it runs, or you can just let it run for you.
That's so great, because one of the things that I hate that agents do, I hate to say this, maybe you guys offer this, but it's when you look at a listing presentation, it has it like standardized, you can tell it's just the same template that every single person gets about how to market their home. Mm-hmm. And you don't feel like you're getting any special localized attention. It just feels like, well, yeah, everybody that works for XYZ brokerage gets the same thing and it's no big deal. This is showing exactly what you're doing and giving you feedback and potentially helping you adjust the price if you need to, right? Mm-hmm. If they're seeing comments coming back that, hey, it seems like it's $20,000 too much or whatever, it's like all one package. And it's a weekly touch point. So not that we probably have to worry about that right now because houses are selling in 35 seconds at the moment, but we do. There's times when it might take 3, 4, 5 months for a home to sell, right? This shows that there's consistent marketing activity happening for that home and keeps them happy and comfortable when they might be like, ruh-roh, what's going on? Why isn't my house selling yet, right?
Right, absolutely. And hopefully, like you had mentioned, once they do actually sell their home and they're now in a new market, or somebody bought a home and you've moved them into a new community, you can set up quality information that's going to run to your customer. So one of the things that I've seen agents do is, okay, somebody moved into a new house. They're not going to be on the market again for 7 to 10 years. I'm just going to put them in a Merry Christmas campaign, and they might get 2 or 3 emails from me on the holidays that are going to go into a spam folder, and the client's probably never going to see them anyway. Right. But you can set up quality information to run to them that they're going to actually care about, that can be soft touch points. So one of my favorite things that we offer is like a market watch report, where I can say, okay, somebody just moved into a new market. Every month or every quarter, they're going to get a report from me that shows them the average price of homes in their community, the number of days they're staying for sale, the total number of homes on the market, new listings in the last week, and general soft call to actions. So maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the road, they open up this report one day and say, wow, home prices are $60,000 more now than they were when I moved. Maybe I want to see what the value of my house is. What call to actions to get them back to your website where they can engage with you. so you can send them information that they care about and be that reliable source of information for them.
Yeah,
And
let
to
me add
remember
something
your
to you.
name, right? Sometimes people don't even remember the name of their agent 6 years later. Go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
Hey, I want to add something because I think this is relevant right now. Is in a lot of these reports that we have, like this one here, you can configure what property statuses will go out in those reports as well. I believe in most cases our default is all the statuses. But one of the things that triggered me to sell a home that we had that I had just sold was I saw in our neighborhood the number of pendings suddenly skyrocketed. Either pending or contingent, and the prices moved to the point that I think you just made, Marilyn, or whoever made it, up by 60,000. That's what I saw, and it's like, okay, now's the time to sell. So I was the one doing it instead of being chased. And you know, so a realtor that was using similar tools, well, they're on our platform, so the same tools, I guess, but using these tools, I saw that and I reached out to her. And the property sold for 100,000 more than it would have just 18 months ago within 2 days. So, but I saw, you know, I know my neighborhood, and I know, you know, you as realtors, you know the neighborhoods too. But you know, I live there, I know it, and when I saw what was happening, it's like, okay, yeah, now let's get rid of the thing. You know, so I think these are very useful tools you have. You know, for those relationships to keep them ongoing for, like what Franklin said, 7 to 10 years later.
Exactly. So Jamie has a question. How do we confirm that our MLS is included in the DeltaNET integration? So is there a place to show all the markets you're available, or would they just email you? How would they find that out?
So I'll say we have, what is it, 95, 96% of all of the MLS boards in the country are already hooked into our platform. So it's really rare that we are initiating a new relationship. But there is a tool in the DeltaNET, and we'll get to it here in just a couple of slides. But there is a way for you to easily check if your data is already hooked into the DeltaNET or not.
But let me just add though, if it's not, we onboard new MLSs. Typically, some of the smaller boards in most cases that we don't have. You know, typical onboarding might be a week. You know, so it's not.
No big deal.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you'll see here, we don't want to just be reliable. You expect you to be reliable for your clients. Delta expects to be reliable for you guys and anybody that uses our platform. So that for us means providing you with the fastest and most accurate listing data available in real estate, that all of our technical support reps are in-house. We don't outsource any of our support. So you have access to get in touch with our tech support team via phone call, live chat, and emails. So if you have questions, you can get in touch with an actual support rep, not just a general customer service person. Within seconds, you just pick up the phone or send them a live chat and you'll get a response. We do live training every single Tuesday that are live Q&A sessions where we take parts of the system, explain what they are, why they're important, how to use them in your business. They're typically never longer than 10 to 15 minutes. So you can add them into your weekly schedule every Tuesday to see what's going on and start to try to adopt different pieces of the tech that are available. And we have built-in guided walkthroughs available in the system. So if you've ever created a LinkedIn account and it tells you, here's all these different things, here's why they're important, here's how you use them. When you log into the DeltaNET, you can also get those walkthroughs right inside of the software telling you why you should be setting these things up. Here's how you use it, and it'll just walk you step by step. Okay, I'm on my customer profile. Here's what the engagement score means. Next step. Here's what the save search means. Next step. Here's what the history means, and how do you use it. So it's right in the software to make it as easy as possible so you can just sign in and get walked through immediately with the software. And we do unlimited trainings as well. So we have no problem helping you get trained and get up to speed using the system. And as I mentioned, we have an onboarding specialist that'll help you get up and running when you first sign up as well. So
a question from the audience, Franklin, do you have help for brokers that are trying to help people adopt, you know, they want their agents to understand how powerful the system is? Do you have like marketing tools and stuff for them that you can give them to help with that?
Absolutely. We have a ton of marketing collateral available for our brokerages to use to help really sell on, here's all the value of why I bought this CRM, why I bought these tools that all of the agents you guys now get to use from a brokerage owner's perspective or a team leader's perspective. We have a ton of marketing collateral. We can help create custom pieces. We have videos, we have pages online. We will do dedicated, like tailored training for you. I've been doing short 15-minute kind of rah, get excited about the tech webinars with our clients. So there's a ton of support available on that end to really drive the engagement and make your agent see the value of why you use DeltaNET 6.
Awesome. Okay.
And so let's close the loop on everything and get to the call to action here at the end. I know we're coming up on the hour. So we believe very strongly at Delta that if you are powerful with your brand and your website, you're effective and you're efficient with your time, you're creative with your marketing, and you're reliable for your clients, it will help you stand out and be different by becoming the #1 agent or brokerage in your marketplace. And keep in mind that you all already have an edge up on Zillow and of any disruptor coming into your market. Because again, look at that NAR data. What's the majority of the business being done? It's people contacting agents they've already worked with. You're already the experienced agent or brokerage inside of your marketplace. Zillow is the new kid on the block coming in and trying to open the door that you can keep slammed closed on them. If you do these things and you employ these in your business, we know you will become the #1 person or team or brokerage in your marketplace. And to kind of hammer that point home on how strongly we believe in this is not only do we choose to be different in our business by remaining an independent, family-owned technology company, but we are a digital agency and a technology company that does a print magazine that runs to over 5,000 brokerages and agents every other month. And it's 100% content sourced by our team from your peers and brokerages that are leveraging Delta to be successful in their marketplace. And it's completely free to sign up for. You can get the print version or a digital version emailed to you, and you can sign up for that content free online to get great stories about why some of the top agents and brokerages in the country use Delta and how they use it to be different in their marketplace. So if you are interested in working with Delta in some capacity, and why should you, in addition to all the things I just mentioned, we're very much in line with the marketplace to save you money. If you wanted to piece together all of the things that Delta does, dedicated website, dedicated CRM, email marketing, open house applications, text messaging, automated content for your social, and more, most places, if you were trying to piecemeal this together, you'd be looking at $120 to $260 a month for the tools that we have built into our platform. And our offer to you is no annual contracts, no setup fee to get started, a free 30-day trial without needing a credit card. We have packages that start at $25 a month, and our free trial is the $99 package for single agents. And we have a free trial offer for brokerages and teams to try it free for 30 days. And our teams packages and brokerage packages typically start at $300 a month based off of the number of agents in your company. And so if you're an agent or a team that wants to get started right now, you can go to deltagroup.com and you'll see right on the website, first button, start free trial, and you can walk through and get started in the software. It takes literally minutes. You'll have an onboarding specialist call you and we'll help get set up in the software for you so you can try it for a month before you ever need to enter your credit card and keep it running. And you can determine which package you want to use at that time. If you're a brokerage or a team leader that wants a personalized demo, you want to get a walkthrough of the software, there's also a button on our homepage that says get consultation or schedule demo, and I'll schedule a call with you and walk through if we're the right fit for your team or brokerage. So we would love to be able to work with you. If there's any questions about the pricing or the software, now's a great time. We can go ahead and answer those for you.
Actually, there are a few. So one of them is one gentleman, Jay's asking, is there any kind of quantity discounts? And I don't, Jay, I don't know if you mean for agents or for brokers, but say 10 agents came to you, is there any, even if they're not part of one company, do you have any kind of tiered pricing like that?
Absolutely. So I mean, if there's tiered pricing for agents if they are in a team or if they are in a brokerage. So 10 agents is a great example. So I'll just tell you kind of, we're transparent with our pricing. If you're a 5-agent team, you're going to be looking at $300 a month. So that's $60 an agent. If you're a 10-agent team, if you're anything over 5 agents, between 5 and 25 agents, you're going to be looking at $499 a month flat rate. So up to 25 agents is $499 a month. So that gets you down to $20 an agent. And then as you scale up from there, the cost obviously scales lower. So a 50-agent brokerage, or we have, surprisingly, we actually have a team that has 80 agents on our platform. If you're a 50-agent brokerage or team, you'd be looking at $950 a month, which is obviously getting the cost down now to $18, $19 an agent. So the cost will scale lower the number of agents you have on one unified company ID. So yes, there is scalable tiered pricing.
So a couple of questions about, if I already had a website, can I plug in the CRM, or can I just buy your CRM, or can I just buy your website? Kind of, how much of a menu is it available through you?
So we do have a hybrid approach that is available. If you are somebody that just wants to use Delta's websites and industry-leading SEO. We do have options that are available for that, where any leads that we're generating through the software, we can filter into another third-party CRM. So I don't think it came up on the call, but we are what's called an open API platform, which is a fancy way of saying we communicate with other vendors. So we have over 100 integrations in the DeltaNET today. So if you just want to use our websites, lead capture, we can send your leads to some other CRM, and sort of vice versa. So if you just want the CRM component, there are kind of ways we can piecemeal it. But I will say that the software was designed as an all-in-one end-to-end solution, because really that's the way to get the most bang for the buck of the software, because the emails talk to the website, the tracking, the automated to-dos, it's all designed to work together. So yes, you can piecemeal it, but our recommendation would be to use the all-in-one approach.
It's just so much easier. You have one group tech support to call, right? They understand how all the dots connect. I love it when you call a technology company and they do this. Oh, well, it must be the other guy's fault. Well, but I told them and they told me it was your fault. Now what do I do, right? So to have it all in one place just makes it a lot easier. And it looks like you've got the driver of the technology, Mike, on the phone. It's there. That little brain's never, I shouldn't say little, very large brain. It's never stops working.
Oh, that's all right.
Right? You're always thinking about, this is like the platform is always getting better, I guess is my point. So what we saw today is kind of a moment in time, but as you described, like this just keeps getting smarter and smarter. And I also get the impression, and I may be wrong, but tell me if I'm right, that you guys seem to listen really well to what your users are telling you. That wouldn't it be great if, that it seems like that's where a lot of your innovation is coming from. Is that true?
Yes, so I can address that one. Again, tying into the fact that we're a family-owned and operated technology company means that we're in control of our own destiny and the direction the tech goes. And very much a lot of the features that we build into the platform come directly from feedback from brokerages and agents that use our platform. For example, one of our enterprise firms, Coldwell Banker Bain, they're great. They have 1,500 agents in the Pacific Northwest, and their marketing director, Scott, and I have a monthly call, and he calls them our "wouldn't it be nice if" calls, where he gives me 15 ideas of wouldn't it be great if the software could do this. And a lot of times those end up as features in the platform. So the tools and the requests that come directly from our enterprise firms, from our agents, they get added to the software, and we add new functionality to the system. Every 2 weeks, we have a release cycle where new features and functionality get added, and you're not paying for DeltaNet version 6. And then you have to pay for a product update in 3 months, or you have to pay for DeltaNet version 7 in a year or 2 years when we roll that out. The software is a rapidly developing.
I don't pay more. So there's 3 more questions that came in. Jamie said, I'm the opposite of the broker opportunity. I'm a new single agent with some marketing tech background who has joined a name brand brokerage with 5 offices and over 150 agents and terrible tech. I hope to get started and expect to build a team by building interest around a tech-centered marketing approach. So can you help someone like that that's brand new and wide open and trying to figure out the best way to go?
Absolutely, absolutely. So part of what our team will do for you is not just help you get up and running with the software, but we are very consultative and helping agents, teams, and brokerages and show you, here's what other clients of ours have done that has been successful. That's why we run the magazine we do, is because our clients share their stories about what makes them successful. We have meetings with our clients regularly, and we share that information with anybody on our system to help better not just the tech and the marketing, but we want to be a powerful and positive driving force in the real estate industry in general. So we're consultative, and we can give you pointers and tips on how to get up and running. Absolutely, yes.
That's awesome. Tiffany, what about the search functionality integration on the website? I think you probably mean IDX integration. Are you building the site with that in mind?
Yes, so we have site search built into our websites. They're not just like a site that you stand up and it's just got some pages of content. There is search built into the platform. So your clients can go to the website, they can do a search, they'll find your listings. We do have the ability of pulling in IDX data. So if you want to have all of the listings that are at your local MLS displayed on your website, we can absolutely pull in that data, make it searchable. Your clients can set up safe searches. It is built right into the software. So you don't have to go out and buy a third-party data service to be able to plug into our websites. The websites are built with search already active.
Yeah, but can I add something there too, Marilyn? Because I know there's a lot of headaches that come about with that, especially on a localized basis. So for many years, we've been able to search by all the parameters you could think of, including subdivision, neighborhood, street name. We've been doing all that stuff for a long time. You can even search by school name. in different markets. But we even have the ability within the platform to define markets, because one of the issues that the industry has is when you have a brand new subdivision that isn't up to date with mapping, let's say, how do you do that? Well, we give an ability to do that where you can define a subdivision on a map, and then when someone searches
nice.
by that, it pulls up everything that's located within that map. And even using that same concept, let's just say it's again a brand new street that was just put in 2 weeks ago, and you have a spec home listing there as one example, and it won't geocode properly, won't be positioned on the map properly. Well, you can reposition it so it's accurate. So again, we do all kinds of little things like that, and I think that goes back to what you had mentioned, Marilyn. We keep pushing this technology, and we've been doing it now for a handful of years, but we're putting millions every year into research and development, and that's making our product better and adding new functionality to it. So a lot of time and energy and effort is put into that.
So you don't have to bounce around every time there's a new set of functionality. Like sometimes it's like, oh, well, that one's got the latest new shiny object. You guys keep adding the shiny objects, so we don't need to go anywhere. It's awesome.
Right.
Okay, David asked a question. How many new drip campaign templates and things do you add every month? It sounded like quite a few, but.
Every month, you'll find 12 new newsletter articles. You'll find 3 new email action plan templates. You'll also find 2 new flyer designs, and we also add 2 new website designs every month as well. So the
Awesome.
value of the product, you'll have always ongoing content being added into your system.
Jamie says paying for IDX. I assume that means, is that an additional service, or is that part of your monthly package you described?
So for the IDX component, that varies by board to board. Some MLS boards have an additional fee. If they do have an additional fee, historically we've passed the vendor fee over to the client, because some MLS broker or some MLS boards charge for the data, some don't. So if the data is free, typically we can offer it. If the board charges for it, then you'll have an extra cost. It's just dependent on the board.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see, what else? Is there also a way to track team accountability? So what's my team doing to follow up on what they're supposed to be doing?
Yep. So team leaders will be able to see all the activity of members inside of the team. So they'll be able to see how often they log in, how many emails are running. They can see if there's overdue tasks. So team leaders and even brokerages, if you have an office manager running an office, you'll be able to see all of the activity happening from the agents. So how often they log in, what reports are running, all of that stuff is tracked right inside of the software. So there's a ton of accountability tools, even down to the lead level. So if you have leads coming in that are getting assigned to your team members and they're not responding to teams, I could run a lead accountability report and say, okay, well, for the team is on average answering leads 3 hours after they come in. But this one member of the team, he answers his leads within 20 minutes of the lead coming in. We want it to be 5 minutes or less, but 20 minutes is a lot better than 3 hours. So you can do all sorts of accountability tracking inside of the DeltaNET.
Yeah, can I add something else too that I think is important with that, with teams and within the firms themselves, is we have very limited functionality right now, at least, that requires certain behaviors. So there's behavioral based things that can pull back leads or force behaviors if a lead is delegated or if a lead is assigned to, let's say you have a team and you assign a lead to one of your team members and you expect certain behavior on that. We have some things that you can define like that now, where if they don't take certain behavior that you've defined, then it either notifies you or pulls it back. But that's getting expanded extensively, and that's going to be, I think we're set to launch that stuff at the end of Q1, if I remember correctly, Franklin. That's when we're, so we're looking at, and that's even based off some feedback where some of our clients like to use a third-party system that does some similar things, and we already do bits and pieces of it. Well, we're massively expanding that so it can be defined, and it's going to be included in the DeltaNET 6 CRM, for that same price when we launch it.
David says impressive, the smiley face. That's awesome. One final, and this one's a little out of your bailiwick, so I'm not sure how you'd answer this. Tiffany, if they can't help you, I know people that can, but I'm going to request a demo, LOL. We are an MLS with a website to drive leads to our member agents. So I'm wondering how this could work for us. What do you think, guys? You wanted to be in the MLS business?
We actually already are. We have multiple MLS boards that we provide websites for. So I've done several meetings with MLSs this year, and I would love to set up a demo with you. So I'd be more than happy to walk you through those options. It's a little different, but we definitely do have the ability to help you with that.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. I need to learn more about that too. All right, well, we're way over time. Oh, Tiffany says, whoop, whoop. She's excited. Thank you so much, guys. This was really exciting. I just love this product. We see a lot of things at RE Technology, and it really feels to me like you figured out where all of the sort of pain points are and where things, we all have great intentions, right? But things just we get busy, and then we lose the discipline, and then we get worse, and then we feel bad about ourselves, and then we just give it up, right? It sounds like with the tools that you put in place, with all that automation, you really help people stay reliable, stay in the game, do this consistently, all the things that you're saying. And that's really the only way we're going to survive in the long term, right? Mike, I'll let you have the final word on that. What's your word of advice for agents these days and brokers?
Yes, I would say whether you're new or seasoned is how I'll put it, is it's all about a sustainable career. So what are those 5 things that help you build a sustainable career? Because if you're doing the 5 things that Franklin went over, really it's you don't need to worry about the Zillows. You don't need to worry about whomever else is coming next. As long as you're doing those 5 things and paying attention to the things you need to pay attention to, it kind of takes care of itself.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. This was awesome. We've got lots of people saying they're going to reach out to you. So again, it's deltamediagroup.com/free is the place to go. And if you have any questions, I'm sure you could ask for Franklin or Mike, and they would be happy to answer it for you. So thanks, everybody. I hope this was helpful, and more to come. There will be a recording. I know some of you have asked. So you'll be getting a thank you note from us in a couple of days with the recording on it. So feel free to forward it to your fellow agent friends, to your brokerage, to whoever you think that might make sense. And again, deltamediagroup.com/free. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.